What was that noise? Woodcutters?
God bless you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
Henry's fine.
Well, that's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Crazel said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I've got something here.
My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredients for the magic ritual.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I'm curious to see what a golem made of flour will look like. I'm mostly curious to see if Crazel will really be able to breathe life into it with the help of saltpeter.
I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No. I have plenty of time. But where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zenek in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zenek and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
Among the wolves. Not a word of a lie. That is, I lost him and then found him again in a wolf pack.
Well, I'll be... That's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating. Just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
I found myself following the path of the knight. My only brother now is my sword.
Oh, aye. Men these days solve all their problems in armor on the field, gouging each other's eyes out and hacking off each other's limbs. Where are the good old days when everything could be solved with a simple dagger stab or a nice strong cup of hemlock? Jesus, I sound like an old crone now, eh? And you know who else pines for the good old days? Crazel. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
He seems awfully mystical. He has lots of experience, like as if he's lived for hundreds of years.
It's his beard that does that. Don't let it fool you. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before Zenek fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case, you know. Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel is quite a lot.
For the whole Trotsky region, aye. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will one saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
Certainly. Well, you take a chunk of salt and...
You won't find it any joking matter soon enough. Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually...
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. But I get it that it's left...
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine.
You mean a knacker?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the gravedigger.
Ah, the gravedigger Ignatius. I've already met him. He lives outside Troskowitz in the direction of Apollonia, right?
Aye, that's him.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun. And pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskowitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, Henry.
Why do you work for the miller?
Because he pays well, and don't care how much coin I make on the side.
You mean by stealing?
And he doesn't ask any stupid questions.
What did you do before?
I got by any way I could. Believe it or not, I started in a convent.
You? A nun? Well, why not? I was in the cloisters myself for a while.
Oh well, different people have different fates. But we all ended up here anyway.
What do you think about
You're another one of those that Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with it, but sometimes he's unbearable.
What do you know about the Troskowitz grave?
He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the rule, I'll treat you. And he appreciates when a fella's direct and open.
So, Bonnie, the most honest girl I know, sent me. I'd like to see some...
That might be a bit much.
How was the saltpeter collection and tasting?
It wasn't so bad. Zenek kept whining about it, but when you go and clean someone's sty, they don't pay much attention to you. We made a pretty decent amount on the side.
What, by stealing?
Confiscating property for the greater glory of God. I hate the term stealing.
Just like Crazel. Tell me something more about...
He's Andy, that's for sure. But also a bit of a fool. To be honest, I don't care for Crazel's whole shit most of the time. He does everything for his own good. Doesn't actually. He really pisses me off with his attitude. Dunga, for instance. What kind of a bloke?
Oh, lovely. And what does he call him?
Scruffy. Or Jan, Nicholas, Franz, Peter, Jakub. The most He tries to be careful, but then he opens his big mouth and fucks.
What is this lair?
Crazel built a store so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hensel, wouldn't have to worry their little heads about what we're doing here.
You mean behind that boarded-up door in the cliff?
We're definitely not doing anything there right now. Because of the mess in there. I told Zenek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place...
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
Show me a few alchemy tricks.
All right, but it'll take some time.
out there if I was you. You know what? See you later. Take care.
May God protect you.
Hail! What is it you...
Why do you work for the miller?
Well, how can I put it? Anywhere else, they'd have kicked me out by now. The miller's the last person who'd... He says every idiot...
And you see that as a
I
compliment?
see a coin in my hand. That's all I care about.
What did you do before you started working for the miller?
A bit of this. When I was still a boy, I studied lie at a tannery, and then I slaved away at a dye house. But since I came to the town, it's been, let's say, not exactly. That's what I'm best at. See?
What do you think of...
Is this some kind of... I can think what I want, and I keep my opinion. And you ought to do the same.
Long time no see, eh?
Crazel gave you another job?
Yeah. I proved myself to him last time.
Did you come here to make fun of me? As soon as she showed up, she gave me hell.
No, not at all. I just need to find... What do you know about the gravedigger?
Not much to know. He's half grave. He takes care of both dead people and...
I'd never have figured that out without your help.
He's my father. And he's a wizard. Same as...
Yeah, right.
It's true. I was born the seventh son. I have the power of clairvoyance, and I'm just hiding out with the miller. I've been chosen to save...
Yeah, nice story. But if I'm going to get the miller some saltpeter, I need to know something useful.
Oh, aye. You're not much fun, are you? The gravedigger's as boring as you are. Also, he knows when he's being lied to, and he hates it. So don't even try it.
You see? So, Zinek, have you...
Oh, I never want to see that I still have the taste of it in my mouth. And Bonnie and me was taking turns.
Weren't you afraid a dead soul would enter you through it?
What? What are you babbling?
Dead souls pass time in niter crystals, don't they? That's why the miller is looking for them. To bring the golem to life.
You fool! We're looking for saltpeter to sell to butchers for salting meat. There's good coin in it.
Well, the miller told me something different.
You can't believe everything he says. A golem in the mill. He's yanking your pizzle.
You're all just trying to confuse me.
Crazel's a good teacher. You know how it is.
What can you tell me?
Well, you mean Cheeks?
Are those nicknames?
Dunger, Snowdrop, Vixen... We always come up with the stupidest names, and nobody sees through them anyway. Bonnie's been here the longest, and has the most experience. I'm surprised she still puts up with Crazel and his man. And I think she likes animals more. When I try to talk to her about work or weather, she gets bored.
What sort of place?
Our secret place, where we can quietly plot sneak...
Behind that boarded-up door? What's inside that cliff?
You know, storage. Look, I know Bonnie ordered me to clean up in there. Thanks to you, I'm sure the movement of goods will start again soon. So it'd probably be good to have some order around here. I just haven't got round to it yet.
Zinek, I have a...
So now you need me, eh? Take care, friend.
Save your whistling, cow.
Greetings, good man. Will you come over here for a moment? Let's talk.
I bid you good day. What do you want to talk about?
You'll see. You won't be sorry. Could you spare a few groschen for charity's sake? I'll be straight with you. It's to spend down the tavern.
Tell me a little about yourself. If I find you to be an upright fellow, I might be willing to indulge you.
I was once a cloth merchant. You'd have been hard put to find a tailor around here who didn't buy my wares. The finest quality at the fairest prices.
So what happened?
Bad times, lad. And bad people. They robbed my cart more than once, and in the end they just drove off with it. Twice they held a dagger to my throat until I emptied my purse. So I ended up on my own, with no livelihood and no money.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it's not that bad. Every now and then I meet some...
Stop bothering decent
All right. No harm done. You know, if I'd come at you with a knife, that would have been different. No offense, though.
God! Go! Go!
That was my cow. Chief again.
You could say that. They found a dead body stuck in the wheel of sun.
Now you'll learn that the church is rotten. Hear what Master Jan Hus of Prague teaches us. Priests wallow in gold, while their falsehoods and indulgences condemn all Christendom to eternal torture. Can that be right? Salvation cannot...
Netta wow wow. What are you doing? How can I help you today, friend?
Show me your ware. I'd like to discuss...
Well,
Do you accept?
you really won't convince me.
No.
Well, if you offer a little bit... Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Thank you, and a good day to you, friend.
Are you whistling at me? I'm not interested.
Ka! Quick!
Hail Mary.
Have you heard it?
There's something new every day.
Do you know what happened with the bodies from near...
Who?
Well, you wouldn't know their names.
Oh, aye. They all ended up in a pit together right by the cemetery. All I got was a yellow waffen rock for the effort. Getting them out of there was a grind. They was well fed. You could tell...
Yeah, you're right. They're a long way from home.
Not to worry. Earth...
Are you and the herb woman related?
We're not related. We both got some years behind us, and we both... Different herb women came to me from time to time for hangman's nooses or nail. What they do with them is their own bit. But Bozhena ain't like the others. She's an honest herb woman who only heals with... Do you know why they chased her out of town?
I do. On account of Yakesh's son.
There's a place called Limbus Infantium. Not even by accident, like Bozhena did with Yarushek.
Well, I don't think I'll be going into the midwifery trade, but I had to dabble in your trade a little. Buried a young man from the nomad camp who got beaten to death by...
I know. Don't think I didn't try. He wasn't baptized, so I couldn't bury him in the cemetery. It gave me a terrible itch. The damned woodcutters left.
I buried him in his favourite place.
You did well. Don't hesitate to bury any... I can tell right away.
Ignatius.
Of course. How many are there? Where do you want to bury them? Shall we grind the teeth up, or do you want to take them away in your purse?
None of that. I have a different, slightly unusual request. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine? What pit?
A saltpeter pit.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What's it supposed to be? A pit to hell?
Nah, it's actually just a pit full of carcasses. These white crystals form on the walls of it, and that's exactly what we're after.
Ah, now I get it. You should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about Salty Peter? I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really? That was easier than I thought.
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward, though. You'll help me with something first. I have some collections from some Sletigo farmsteads, and I'd be a fool if I didn't use a helping hand. At least one day I can take it a bit easy.
You want me to help you with your grave-digging business?
Why not? You look like a strong fella. You'll be a good helper.
I have a better idea. You tell me where I can find that pit, and I'll give you a nice piece of fresh meat for it.
I won't say no to that. Show me what you have. Oh, aye, fresh meat. What a feast that'll make. Now, listen closely. That pit of yours lies at the end of a long journey that we'll take together on my wagon.
So you got meat out of me for nothing?
When I see how much you lot in Lower Samina are interested in it, I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. But thanks for the meat, and don't worry about a thing. Grave digging is a job like any other. Sooner or later, everyone... And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have...
Of course, I understand. I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me when they see me with you. I wouldn't like to lose the honor I've earned.
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only So what then? Shall we take a nice little ride with my boys Snorter and Dragonfly here? Nice and early, at daybreak.
Let's get this over with then.
Didn't you understand me? We ain't going nowhere now. Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's between night and day. Do you understand?
I understand. I'll come at dawn.
You have a kind master, eh, Mutt? Well, it's not exactly the nectar of the gods. Needs to simmer a bit more.
Here you go. Take it.
Kind master, eh, Mutt? Greetings, my friend.
I don't know if I'm completely ready for this, but let's get going.
The dew is still on the leaves. The roads are clear. You don't need your horse. I'll stable him here. It'll be heaven for him. In any case, heaven's always close here. Hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will take care of us. Did I bring that stuff for Visor?
Here, Mutt!
Come on, then. Get a move on. We've got a long journey ahead of us, so get yourself comfortable so you're... Arse won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Samine, eh?
Well, you could say that. I help the miller with whatever I can. I got a place to sleep there. Soon I'll be able to call the miller uncle.
I remember Crazel when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Samine round these parts. Crazel don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that Bonnie of yours belong to that gang too?
Bonnie's an honest girl, and her friend Zinek is too. Crazel only sent them to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties, so that's just what they've been doing. From what she told me, they had nothing else in mind.
Lower Samine's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Crazel. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Lazy bones.
Interesting.
Whoa, boys, whoa! What's going on here? Come on. Come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It looks mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Finally, at least we're not blocking the road too much.
Sick! Great.
Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
Great.
What do you mean already? What lackeys? I've no idea what you're on about, fella.
Two stinking bastards that was here sneaking up.
Hey!
I want to talk to you.
Over here.
What's going on, Ignatius?
Ah, I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Samine to complain.
Two stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those, names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
Is that so? So prove it then.
Ignatius is telling the truth. There are all sorts of types causing trouble in these parts, not just from Lower Samine. Ignatius and I thank you for taking on the job of guarding the roads, making sure that honest, if somewhat grubby tradesmen stay safe.
Aye, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, thanks.
Really good work, lad. Well, time waits for no man. Let's all carry on with our duties, eh?
All right, listen. We'll be going then. But if you happen to run into them two thieves, you tell us right away, got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe... Did I
What's
get
next?
this right?
Are we
Maybe it
going?
was the one with...
Not much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. Here we go, Santa. Don't worry. That was just a kind of little favour for me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop 'em up and haul 'em off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pig started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
And then Satan himself appeared in the sky. Happens all the time.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly. Lazy bones.
Nice.
Well, I'm here like I promised, and I even have a helper here with me who'll be doing the carrying for me today.
Poor fella. Where did you dig him up?
He came to me from Lower Sameen.
So I'd better go and stand in the doorway. One eye on him, one on the chest with valuables.
This one's honest. He might even take a look to see what was troubling them pigs.
At first, I thought it was that beast of Visar's that done it, but the pigs weren't bit. So it was definitely a curse.
Curse my arse. From what you said, it had to be poisoning, but it's hard to say from what. But we may just find that out from Henry here. And as far as Visar is concerned, I'm headed there next. I have the stuff with me.
But make sure you take care of it, yeah? I can't bear it much longer.
You ain't the only one. It's been bothering the Nabokov folks, too. That'll all be over today.
God reward you for it.
God don't reward me much, but I'll probably get something from the bailiff for hauling.
Well, I wish you and your helper lots of luck today. May God bless you.
You too. You too.
Bloody hell. Oh well.
Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? I can smell something upstream. Ah, here it is. Wolves must have killed them. It didn't even eat them up. I'll go and tell Ignatius. Sick! Nice one. I'd rather go back to sacks of flour.
More money out the window. Bloody hell.
It really wasn't a curse. They're a rotting car. No wonder the pigs caught some disease.
Well, what do you know? I'll give you a hand. It'd
Rather go back to sacks of flour.
Oh well.
So, what do you think, Dragonfly? How's he doing? Get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
Nice work. There's even a bit of meat left for me.
Yeah, you'd eat that. They've been lying there God knows how long.
But nicely in the cold. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, you won't be eating it, so don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Lads, seeing as how you don't obey me, you're surely horsing around today.
That's a good one.
So far it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then, you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
I'm sorry, Ignatius, my friend. You can't expect me to do that.
In that case, as soon as we get where we're going, you can just get off the wagon and go and look for that pit yourself. If you don't do what I tell you, you're useless to me. So I'll be useless to you too.
Maybe there's another way. I'll try to come up with something.
Ha! That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Visor. I've heard that... both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me.
Good doggy. Good boy.
Good day.
Greetings to you two.
Christ, can't you wash up?
They say you have some wild dog.
Monarch is Visor's problem, not mine. We're just glad he keeps the farmstead safe from all sorts of ne'er-do-wells. Like not long ago, 2 fishy types came here to clean the styes. So it's a good thing he inspires fear.
I heard he's an absolute beast.
Them are strong words. Visor just needs to get better. See you later.
Greetings.
They say you have some wild...
Talk to Visar about that. God be with you. And wash up a bit. You look awful.
Christ!
I've heard you have some rabid...
It's not our dog.
Oh, they say he's quite...
We're supposed to say he's a good because he's locked up in a shed behind the barn.
It sounds more like he's there.
Sorry, I have... God be with you. And wash up a bit.
I've heard you have some mean...
Monarch! Oh, aye, what a brute. Visar is training him to be sometimes instead of shooting at birds. But that bugger always takes off, and then people complain that he... But one day they'll be glad when Monarch saves their hides from some...
Oh, maybe...
He is, though.
Farewell, and take a bath, for goodness sake.
God bless.
Greetings, my friend.
I've heard you have some dog that's...
Give over with that. See you later.
What will it be?
I hear you have some...
What? You're the... If you're another of them bastards trying to steal him or poison him, you'd better make yourself scarce before I set him on you.
Go away! You'd better call back that dog. My God, what happened?
I've heard you have a dog that's raising cake...
If it's caused you any damage, take it up with Visar.
Well, I'm just curious what kind of dog it is.
Well, if he ran away, no one would shed a tear, that's for sure. But he'll kick the bucket sooner or later.
Does he torment him?
You said it, not me. And stop distracting me. God be with you. And wash up a bit. You look awful. You'd better call... Hold on. You silly doggy.
Get out of here, Matt. No one wants to hear your barking. That wasn't so hard now, was it?
The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to? Barking. He's coming from over there. Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
First, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a redemption from that wholesome master of his. I'll take care of him, in place of my poor dead sniffer.
Bonnie, the gravedigger sent me to kill the dog. He's been paid to do it by the people whose livestock. It's the last thing I need to do before he...
It's not the animal's fault. When Zenek and I were here last, I saw how old Vysarik treats him. He doesn't give him food. He abuses him. With a master like that, you wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because it's...
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
But... It's taken care of.
Taken care. I hope you didn't go soft after...
The dog is dead.
Dead, eh?
Well, it wasn't pleasant. I did it exactly how you told me.
Oh, aye.
I dipped the meat in poison.
So, it all went how it should. He's done for, the beast. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy. Slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course not. True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more nitre you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. The miller will probably send some people here.
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural balance, see? And soon they'll find out there's no place to find saltpeter.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. I'll still have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
It's the only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius and his even older nags is ungrateful riffraff. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over my trade one day when I'm pushing up daisies myself.
Who knows? Maybe that'll really be my fate. I'll live at the cemetery, build piles of carcasses, and eat bread with saltpeter.
Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see.